it's truly like an art form, you know what I mean? And it's cool to see other people that can actually enjoy it too, as well as look at a piece you did on a wall or something. They can come and admire it and like what they're seeing. This stuff, they can actually come physically feel it. They can actually write it and enjoy what you created, your art, you know what I mean? They can come and enjoy it. But then when you get to the sculpting part of it and then the writing part of it and the science of how the speed works with the bike and then making these adjustments and then being able to smack a nice smooth lip, trail building is like, it's an art form in itself, you know? 84 was when I was breaking. It's probably when a lot of people were breaking. That was probably the first thing I was ever into as far as like an activity was breakdancing. During the whole freestyle era, I got into freestyle bike riding and I was doing BMX first. But this shot was probably like around 85, 86 when I used to ride this quarter pipe up in the neighborhood I grew up in. That's when I first started getting cans. I was starting to get my foot over the bar right there. I was on a Hutch Trick Star. How I got into skateboarding was because unfortunately my bike got stolen. I was like, I'm never gonna have a chance to get a bike like that again, so that's pretty much done, you know what I mean? I went to the swap meet, saw this board that was complete for like 15 bucks and it said Alva on it. At that time I didn't know what Alva was, but it was half of my last name, which is Alvarez, so I just thought it was cool. I just bought it, started messing around on that, and you know, I found another vehicle to put some energy into, and that was the new thing, and then I just probably did that for like the next 3 years really hard to where it became like, you know, what I wanted to be, what I wanted to do. This was probably 88. At this time I was riding like a lot of Hosoi stuff. I actually had an opportunity that I came close to getting on Team Hosoi. I was Aaron Scott right there, who was a third generation Z-Boy. I was like up the pace with all the guys who were starting to get factory sponsors, and it almost happened for me, and then I think I got my first job ever. At that point, then I was just thinking like, oh man, I never got the sponsor, it never worked out for me. I got my job now, I'm not gonna be able to skate as much, probably not gonna be as good as everybody now. So I just kind of like got used to something else and decided to put my energy into being an artist. Hip hop started getting popular again like in the early 90s. All of a sudden like all the old school stuff was like popular again. Breaking started getting popular again. Graffiti, I had been drawing since I was a kid, like way before I even skated or did BMX, but I just never thought it'd be something that I'd have some kind of a sport to be involved with as far as artwork, and graffiti was kind of that. It was like an event to showcase your artwork some other way, almost like you would showcase your skateboarding or BMX. It was like a scene.
I mean, where are some of the places that graffiti took you?
What caused that was the whole graffiti hip hop clothing industry that started happening back then. That's when we started getting these opportunities for trips to go to like Japan. I've been in Japan a lot of times. That was when I was doing a lot of stuff for like Tribal Streetwear. We got opportunities through the clothing companies, really. That's what made it, you know, like bigger than just what we were doing, painting in the yards and all that stuff, you know what I mean?
What did that kind of time frame do for your worldview?
Well, it allows you to see your life from an outside point of view, you know what I mean? Everywhere I've went, it seems like they're under the impression that we create all these subculture activities. Like, I guess they want to see what kind of people we are and they just want to meet the people that I guess that they think are real. Not till like about the mid-90s I started getting more into music and being a DJ again and stuff like that. The earliest group was this group called Cemetery Slaves, and then after that I worked with a group called Swollen Members that did pop off from up in Canada. I was the original DJ for the group in the beginning, in the early times of it, and then halfway through we kind of split up and went our own ways, and they got a new DJ, and now they're the group that they are now. They got pretty big up in Canada. I'm sure they got big everywhere. I just was at a point where I was kind of like over the music life, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like I had been doing it for a long time and like, you know, traveling and going here and there and doing all that. I kind of got, you know, just burnt out on it, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do something else. And that's kind of pretty much right after that is when I got serious about tattooing. Being an artist and trying to make a living as an artist, you're always trying to find ways to stay an artist and make a living, which means trying to find some kind of steady income. Tattooing, besides being an amazing art form, and seeing your artwork on skin is just as impressive, if not more, than seeing your artwork big on a wall. So, but it's also a good way to be an artist and make consistent living, you know. And it's actually the way that I make the most consistent income is tattooing, you know. Keep that. Once I got serious about tattooing, I pretty much, just like anything else I've ever been to, I put myself into like hibernation with the art form I'm doing, you know, until you get to like a certain point to where you're comfortable, and then you can not spend so much time doing it. And you're always continuously learning as an artist. You never know everything. You just continually progress. I think that's what keeps me motivated, is seeing progression. As in like riding bikes too, is like seeing yourself get better. Because better just means more fun. You know what I mean? The more you can flow, more things you can ride, it gives you more options to ride and have a better time, you know? So progression is a good thing. When I started riding, my friends that got me into it were already kind of at a high level, but I'm too smart to think that I'm just going to jump into that and start doing that. You know, looking at this and I was like, there's no way. But when I got into it and I started really getting into it, and then started working on the jumps, and I realized there's a lot more to this, and then I was hooked on it, and then it was like, I just want to be able to go somewhere and be able to ride and enjoy this stuff, you know what I mean? So there goes the digging. You're just constantly digging every day, trying to dig yourself into it some fun, you know what I mean? I was able to meet you because of those, you know what I mean? Like I have a new list of good people that I hang around with now because of being involved with their jumps, you know, and it just makes your life that much better, you know? It's just a good experience. It's cool, it's fun, it's a lot of hard work. It takes getting used to seeing people wreck your stuff, you know what I mean? It used to happen when I was back in the graffiti days. You had to get used to people writing in your stuff, you know what I mean? You put all this work into this beautiful piece and then come back and somebody wrote right in it or something, and all that work you put in it was just destroyed in like seconds, you know what I mean? So you get used to that, so that after a while you're like, well, I gotta put a bunch of work into this and get your pictures right when you're done, you know what I mean? And after a while you kind of build a tolerance to it. It doesn't bother you no more. It's just like kind of like dirt jumps, you know what I mean? For a while it used to bug me when people would come and thrash the lip or do something like that because you put so much back-breaking work into it, and they don't get it because they never built anything, you know what I mean? But now it's like, it doesn't bother me anymore. I just got over it and just like, oh, it's just part of it, you know? It's part of building jumps, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like this.
My name's Alvarez, and I'm living the dream. Dirt, sweat, and gears. DT life.
It's real talk.